Hi, I'm Robi, also known as ambroscrochet somewhere on the internet, and today we are going to make these crocheted braided wreath together. So I didn't say that I'm going to show you how to make these braided wreath because it's just the second time that I'm making it, and I don't think I'm good enough at it yet to show you how to make it per se. But I thought it's such an interesting project because it's so different from what I usually make that I would just, maybe show you, and you might get ideas, or you might, be inspired by it and make something nicer out of it if you see, maybe mistakes that I'm making that you think you could correct and stuff like that. So I thought it would still be a cool thing to show you, and also it's such a simple project. It's very, very long, but it's very, very simple because it's just single crochets repeated over and over, which is why I think it would be a great project to practice your single crochets, that I think it's kind of suitable for everyone. So I think that's it, and let's get into the video. Okay, so here's what we will need. Some yarn. You can use any yarn that you want as long as it's not too heavy, so it's not too thick of a yarn. Specifically, this one is a super fine yarn, which is maybe a little bit too fine, and it's 462 meters, and I use pretty much all of them, or 505 yards. I use pretty much all of it. But again, if you wanted to go with a heavier yarn, that would probably be better actually. And then I'm going to be using a 3mm crochet hook with this specific yarn, and then you will need some pins, needle, tapestry needle or needle and thread, scissors, and optional is going to be toy stuffing and wire, which I'm going to have to use because the yarn is so fine that I need something to give the wreath a little bit of structure. But if you're using a heavier yarn, obviously you won't need it, or most likely you won't need it. I'm not 100% sure. So here are the stitches we will be working with: chain and single crochet. Okay, so as I said, this is probably one of the easiest projects that you could work on. It's just very repetitive, which I guess every crochet project is kind of repetitive, but especially this one because you really don't see the ending result until you're completely done with it. While with amigurumis it's a little bit different because you kind of see the shape. With this one it's just very different. You have to trust the process basically. And so what we're going to do is we are going to start with a chain, and now I'm going to give you some measurements and number of stitches, but it really depends on how big you want your wreath to be, and it depends on what yarn you're using, what crochet hook you're using, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to make 3 stripes that are 6 centimeters by 92 centimeters, and to achieve the 6 centimeters I need to have 18 chains to begin with. So we are going to make, or I'm going to make 18 chains. And then starting from the second chain from the hook, you want to make 1 single crochet in each chain for a total of 17 single crochets. Okay, and once you reach the end of the row, you want to chain 1, turn, and then you just keep single crocheting again 17 single crochets, so 1 single crochet in each single crochet, and basically you repeat this same row until you have, for me at least, because of the size that I want my wreath to be, until you have 92 centimeters in length. So obviously you can make it shorter, you can make it longer, however you want it to be, and it takes me 280 rows to get to 92 centimeters, so it's going to take me a little bit, but I'll be back once I have that done. And you have to make 3 of these, so it's not a quick project, it's not, but I think it looks really stunning once you're done, so I don't know. So I'll see you once I have all 3 of those done. Okay, so once you have your stripes done, I only have 1 here because I can't physically show all 3 of them at the same time. But once you have your stripes done, you can cut the yarn, leaving a very, very long tail because we are going to use it to sew the stripes shut. So So what you want to do is you want to have the two edges close together, and you just sew them shut using a whip stitch, so going back and forth from one end to the other. And you want to make sure that you stay consistent in that you sew together the corresponding stitches, the corresponding rows, so that you know, it's obviously not wonky. So you just keep going like this, and you sew the two edges together all the way, and as you go you want to make sure that you, if you need to, that you are stuffing the I don't know, how do you want to call this? You're stuffing this tube as you go, because it's my preference, for example, to stuff things as late as I can, and I tried doing this with this specific project the first time that I worked on it, and it was an absolute nightmare. So stuff it as you go, and because I also had to use wire, I inserted the wire at the end, but I don't know if there is a better way to do it. Obviously, you know, feel free to use that one. So this is what we're going to do. Just sew the two edges together for all three of the stripes and stuff them as you go, if you need to stuff them, because maybe you don't. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm also going to insert my wire as I need to. Okay, so I'll see you when that is done. Okay, so once you're done sewing, and in my case also stuffing and wiring every single stripe, do not cut the tail at the end, because we will need it to sew the two ends together once we have the braided wreath. Now, I don't really know if I'm going to be able to show you the braiding part, because I don't know if I have like the physical space to do it, because it's just very long stripes. But first of all, you want to maybe try and keep them still by I don't know, you can use some pins, some safety pins. I'm going to be doing something very not elegant, and probably just keep my hand here if I can, because I don't know where I place my safety pins, so I have to make do. And you want to pay attention that you keep the sewed side underneath, so especially because my yarn changes colors. I can think of the word in English right now. Especially in certain points you can clearly see it, so for example right here. So I'm going to be careful to keep it hidden basically. And now we just have to braid it. So I'll see, maybe I can speed this part up, or if you just see a jump cut, it's because I couldn't do it on camera. So let's see. Okay, so that just took about 25 years of my life, and next I'm going to try and shape it into a decent circle. It's a lot more difficult using wire. The first one that I made, I didn't use wire, and it was a lot easier to braid and shape, obviously. So I'm going to try and shape this into a somewhat decent circle, and then I'll be back hopefully. Okay, so this is the best I can do to get it in frame, so I'm just going to show you very quickly. So I just tried to shape it. Honestly, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. There we go. So now we have to fix this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically, what I did was I kind of thought, like, if I were to keep braiding this side, where would each strand go, and so which strand would it correspond to on the other side, so here. And what I found was that this one goes with this one goes with this one, and this one goes with this one, if that makes sense to anybody else. But to be fair, I don't care particularly about this pot looking too pretty, because I'm just going to put a bow on it, so it's fine if it doesn't look, you know, perfect. So I'm going to sew these strands together as I said, and I'm probably going to cut the wire that I have here in excess, and then I will be back for the bow. It feels like I'm wrestling a Christmas wreath every time I try to work with this, so I'm having a lot of fun. Okay, so I sewed the ends together. In my defense, it doesn't look as bad as the first one that I've made, but again, it doesn't look that good. But still, I said it didn't matter, so I'm going to stick to it. It doesn't matter. And it really doesn't, but you know. Okay, so next we move on to the bow. So as far as the bow goes, and yes, I found a decent way to show you the whole wreath. It wasn't actually that difficult. But as far as the bow goes, I won't tell you how to make the bow simply because I'm just following somebody else's tutorial and I don't want to just repeat everything that they said in their tutorial, so I'm just going to link it down below. Hopefully I can remember, otherwise you know you can just search for fabric bow tutorial. And the first time that I made the wreath, I actually used a crocheted piece of fabric, so I just crocheted a rectangle and then I followed the exact same instructions, and I think that the result was also quite pretty. So obviously you can choose to do it however you want to, but once you have sewn the bow to the wreath, I would say that we are done. So we are done. I'm kind of sorry about the chaos in this video. I was a little bit unsure about whether I should make this video or not because, as I said, it's not a project that I'm very confident about. Not necessarily about how it looks at the end, because I think it looks really good, but more about how to explain it to you, because as I said, you know, I'm not sure of how to do it myself basically. But as I said in the beginning, hopefully, you know, this can be an inspiration for you to do something nicer, or if you see any mistakes that I made, you might want to correct them yourself. So I hope you still enjoyed, and for the whole month of December, both on YouTube and Instagram, I will have posts and videos going up dedicated to, I don't know, some little gifts that you might want to make, or ornaments and stuff like that, or you know, things that you might want to make for yourself. So if you want to maybe check those out as well, I'll see you in the next ones. And so if you want to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, that's much appreciated. And thank you so much for subscribing if you have. Thank you if you've decided to leave a comment or a like. And if you want to follow me on my social media, especially Instagram, where I will be posting sort of advent calendar, if you will. My social media is probably somewhere on the screen right now. And I think that's everything. If you have any tutorial requests for me, please do let me know in the comments or via social media. And yeah, I will see you in the next one quite soon actually. So yeah, bye.